Des remarques de la part du Canada avant de passer la parole à M. Demaille. Le Canada est reconnaissant de l'occasion de co-faciliter cette réunion et nous tenons à exprimer notre gratitude envers notre co-facilitateur autochtone, M. Binota Moy Damaï. Nous tenons également à remercier l'Australie et M. Demaille pour le travail de co-facilitation de la première réunion intersessionnelle sur les moyens concrets de renforcer la participation des peuples autochtones au Conseil des droits de l'homme qui a eu lieu en juillet de cette année. Nous souhaitons remercier tous les États membres, les peuples autochtones, les institutions nationales des droits de la personne et les organisations non gouvernementales qui sont présentes aujourd'hui pour partager leurs précieuses contributions et leur expertise sur cette question importante. Nous souhaitons également saluer les longs voyages que nombre d'entre vous ont effectués pour participer à cette réunion. Nous reconnaissons d'ailleurs le reclais du Fonds de contribution volontaire des Nations Unies pour les peuples autochtones à cet égard. Finalement, nous tenons à remercier le Haut-Commissaire des Nations Unies aux droits de l'homme pour son travail d'organisation des deux réunions intersessionnelles sur le renforcement de la participation des peuples autochtones au Conseil des droits de l'homme. Throughout the 20th century, Indigenous peoples have continuously advocated for their rights and inclusion at the international level, particularly after the United Nations came into existence. In line with the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, the ALTA Outcome Document, the Outcome Document of the World Conference of Indigenous Peoples, and the Quito Outcome Document, Canada's position has been that a new status, one that affirms Indigenous peoples' recognized right to self-determination, separate from civil society and non-governmental organizations, must be developed to include Indigenous peoples' participation in all UN fora. This position is informed by long-standing calls by Indigenous peoples in Canada and our country's commitment to the implementation of the UN Declaration. As stated in the recent stock-taking report on existing procedures on the participation of Indigenous peoples at the United Nations, prepared by the OHCHR, enhanced participation by Indigenous peoples brings added legitimacy and sustainability to the decisions adopted by the United Nations. The contribution of such participation to the sustainability of discussions and decisions was also acknowledged by Human Rights Council in its Resolution 57/15, adopted by consensus last week. Indeed, United Nations mechanisms have demonstrated the positive impacts of enhanced participation. The perspectives and knowledge held by Indigenous peoples greatly contribute to solutions on a variety of critical international issues, including combating climate change, biodiversity, sustainable development, peace building, and upholding the international human rights framework. Following constructive exchanges at the first intersessional meeting regarding accreditation principles, criteria, and mechanism, this second meeting will provide an opportunity to continue to hear views on these topics, as well as to advance dialogue on venues of participation, participation modalities, and reprisals. In this last regard, I want to make it clear that Canada strongly condemns acts of intimidation and reprisals which target Indigenous people who participate at the United Nations. Addressing and preventing reprisals is critical to ensuring Indigenous peoples can freely exercise their right to self-determination and the right to participate in all fora and decisions which affect them. Looking ahead, following the two intersessional meetings, the co-facilitators will work together with the OHCHR to prepare a joint report on the discussions and outcomes of the meetings, including specific recommendations to be presented to the Council before its 59th session. We look forward to hearing your views and to moving the discussions forward with a view on practical next steps to enhance the participation of Indigenous peoples in the Human Rights Council. Thank you very much.